On today's video, we'll be having a kitchen tour. A tour of my kitchen. Yay! Stay tuned. Welcome people, it's your girl eye-see-tah and welcome back to eye-see-tah's World, and today we're going to have another minimalist video. And we are actually going to run through my kitchen cupboards, my kitchen drawers, my kitchen refrigerator. We're just going to run through my kitchen and we're going to see what it is like to have a minimalist, sustainable kitchen while living in the Caribbean. This is my couch, guys. I made it out of pallets, pillows, cushion that I'm sitting on, you can see. It's my little couch. So the next tour will be on my living room space and what it looks like to have it there. Alright, so we move to this side and then I'll put the video, insert the whole video clip right here of what we're doing. Got it? Alright, so as you can see here, this is my kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen. You see that space, see everything that's there. It's very airy, very spacious, not a lot of stuff in there. I got a lot of, this is a rental property first of all, so I got a lot of, I locked out. I got a lot of storage space and I got a lot of counter space. So I have to be very grateful where that is concerned, because a lot of times that's where we really fall short in rental properties here in Jamaica. You either get skimped on the bathroom or you get skimped on the kitchen. I got skimped on the bathroom because it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Eventually we'll do a tour of each of the room by room and then we'll put it all together and make a grand house tour. But for right now, we're walking through the kitchen. So if you look in this area, this is where I keep all my pots and my plates. My clean plates are in here. But it normally doesn't look like this. So if you see what I'm doing here, I'm taking up all the stuff and I'm putting them into the places where they're assigned to be. So one of the very easy and effective ways to keep a kitchen minimalist and clean and clutter-free is to have a space for everything. So I have a space for my cutlery, I have a space for my plates, I have a space for my spot pots. I have places for my Tupperware containers. Okay, so by the way, guys, I'm changing out my Tupperware containers or my Glad containers or my Ziploc containers to more sustainable containers. So I'm scaling them down to little and nothing really, because I really have too much and we don't need so much space. We don't need so much of it anyway. So let me continue. So if you look through my drawers, I have 3 drawers that I actually use. I only have 3 drawers actually, so whether or not it's what I use is what I have. The first drawer is here. I have all my cutlery here, all my spoons and forks and stuff. I have 5 sets of each. There are 4 of us living here, my 2 kids, a partner that visits all the time, and myself. So 4 of us that really eats here, and then I have an extra set that I keep for anybody else that comes over, which is very rarely. So that set I normally keep in the top cupboard anyway. So yeah, but I do have 4 sets right here, as you can see. Well, they're not all there right now. Some are probably in the mystery now. Then on my next drawer here, it's just, this is my little, I call it my kitchen junk drawer, but it's not junk. Everything that's in there is actually there for a reason, right? So I have like a hammer, I have strings to use to tie things, whether it's tying chicken together to bake, or it's just whatever I need a string for, and I tend to have a need for strings a lot of times. The next drawer is my drawer for my covers for containers that I'm using currently, or covers for coffee cups, or for my bullets, my NutriBullet. So those things are in this drawer, and I have the foil paper here because I need to replace my pots. Okay guys, now let's take a look into my kitchen cupboards. Everything in my kitchen cupboard is organized based on usage and essentially height. So at the back there I have tin food, which I don't use very often. I usually use tin food when most of my meat stuff or my protein is finished from my refrigerator. Or in the Caribbean, we usually use tin food for rainy time, on hurricane and that kind of stuff. So those things are there essentially just to ensure that if it comes to a time that we run out of food in the house and we don't want to go to the supermarket right away, we actually have something we can eat in the house without having to go anywhere to go shopping. right? So that's what they're there for. I have vinegar and the pancake syrup because we tend to do French toast or pancakes most mornings, if not 3 out of 4 mornings. So that's there. And vinegar is what I use to essentially clean my meat whenever I'm cleaning anything. And I use the vinegar to actually clean the top of my counters, and it's my main cleaning source. So the vinegar is going to be right there where I can get to it. The next place up top there is where I keep extra pasta and anything extra pasta like that I want to keep. So rice and pasta and flour and ground provision is essentially what my family eats as carbohydrates and as starch. So we tend, especially for the girls, so that's what we tend to have a lot of in the house. So I will store pasta. I'll buy 3 pasta because I know that in a week they'll be done. They'll be done in 3 days because I use 1 per day depending on what's going on. So those are extra pasta that I got, and I'm just having them up there for when I need them. I'll take down what I need. Lasagna, you know, I don't ever use the whole tin or box of lasagna. There's always some left over. So because of that, I tend to just leave that up top, put it in a bag, in the box, and whenever I need lasagna again, I don't have to keep on buying a new box. On the other side of my cupboard, this is where I keep all my sauces and condiments. These are also ready-to-use items that I use every day. You can see ketchup, pepper, soy sauce, browning, that kind of stuff for prepping meat or eating hot dogs, or for the kids, that kind of way. If you look closely, you'll see that their containers here are reusable containers. Those are Bertolli jars or jam jars or sauce jars or mason jars that I got, and I'm just using them to store other things. So there's cinnamon, chocolate tea for the girls. There is pancake mix. Instead of having that big old box or that big old bag that I always buy it in, I have it in a smaller jar, and I just kind of throw it into something what I need, and it'll keep a track too of what I am using and what's left over. So those are things I normally use. If you look up top, there are some glasses up there. Those glasses on top there, those are the glasses I use when I'm feeling fancy. I want to, drink some wine and stuff like that. So let's go over to the storage shelf that I have in the kitchen. This storage shelf was actually a part of my entertainment stand. It came in 3 pieces. Actually, my father built it in 3 pieces, and that's why it looks like that. So that was essentially storage for electronics and books and so forth. But because of the way I'm living, I want more space, more clean, open space. I decided to take that from the living room instead of having 2 in there because I didn't need to, and put that in the kitchen for extra storage. So this extra storage I have here, up top you can see the glasses that we use all the time. There's wine glasses at the back, and those bowls is what we use most mornings for cereal. Down below is extra storage as well for leftover food that I don't want to put in the cupboard. Things that I'm going to be using to prep for dinner most nights are on that shelf right there. If you go ahead and take a look now into my refrigerator. So I'm going to run through this as quickly as I possibly can because this is a lot of stuff. But on the refrigerator side, I have shelf for water and stuff that I tend to reach for very often. And I have a cheese shelf. Yes, I have a whole shelf for cheese because we tend to use cheese a lot too. We use cheese in our eggs. We use grilled cheese sandwiches for the girls. Below that is other stuff that I'll reach for, but not as often, like my milk and my cereal. And you can see that this cereal is actually something that I combine together. So I have oats and peanuts and raisins and almond nuts and that kind of stuff. So it just makes it a wholesome breakfast. It's not sweet either, and I'm trying to lay off the sweets. Because on the other side, I have ready-to-use items like the tomatoes and onions and stuff that I'm using currently are right there. There's butter, mayonnaise. Everything is kind of organized in such a way that I know where everything is and I reach for it. By the way, the bottles that I drink out of are the glass bottles at the top. We all have our own drinking water bottles, so that's why there's so many in the refrigerator. So those 2 are mine up top, and they're just, one's an old Crown bottle that I got liquor in, and I just love how it's shaped and I love how it's cute, and I can just grab that and take it to my desk and drink from it. And the other one is actually a sparkling water that I bought, and I just like the glass, and to me, glass tends to cool quicker in the refrigerator, so I tend to use those in the refrigerator. Alright, moving over to the freezer section. Now guys, I know it's a little packed, but we are in quarantine. If you're watching this afterwards, this is 2020 and we're in COVID-19 quarantine, so I have a lot of meat storage going on here. At the top, I have everything that I normally reach for. I have some lasagna that I did, some leftover lasagna that I'm going to be using probably tomorrow, the day after. And then I have all the little catch-all leftover seasoning and stuff that I was using that I have in a container there. Below that, I have all the breakfast items. I have extra bread, bagels, muffins, that kind of stuff. And then underneath that, I have all that meat that I could possibly need, all the meat that we can't go into. Kidneys, turkey neck, chicken, fish, oxtail, mutton, that kind of stuff. Those things that we kind of go for, and that is essentially my Sunday shelf. Those food is what I cook on a Sunday. In the week, we normally grab for quicker things, but those things take some time. If a pressure cooker them and all them kind of lovely thing there. So that's my Sunday shelf for sure. On the door, this is where I have all my seasonings, where I pretty much use and all the time. I use this seasoning all the time, one, and this is because of how I buy seasoning. I buy them in a whole lot of bulk, and I take a lot of time cutting and prepping and storing in these containers. And these containers, I have scallion, onion, sweet pepper, ginger, and I used to have one in there for tomatoes, but my tomatoes are finished right now. And this is what's left over after about 6 weeks. So I buy about 6 weeks of seasoning, so I don't have to go out very often to buy those because we're not supposed to. And essentially, that's how it works. I will do another video separately on the storage, how I prep the storage, how I do all of that kind of stuff, and I'll insert it in the video like this somewhere, and I'll do another video where that is concerned. And if you're interested in seeing a video with how I sustainably store my food so they'll last me for a long time and I don't have to be spending a lot of money very often because of spoilage, leave a comment below and I will definitely do a video like that to ensure that you understand what's going on, and you can do that for yourself because it really has saved me money and it has saved me a lot of time. So essentially, guys, this is what my kitchen looks like. This is the whole shebang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram. I will put the link for Instagram somewhere here or there. Not sure yet. And do subscribe. You can subscribe from the link that wherever you see my logo on whichever side. If you click on that logo, you can subscribe. Leave a comment as well, and always share my video with at least one person so you can be able to help them. Thank you so much again for coming to SUSTAINABLE, and I will see you on the next video. Bye now.